Oh, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I gotta work on my intro, but I swear I'm getting better. But this episode, I did kind of want to revisit a Class 6A girls super team that I covered quite frequently this year. And that, my friends, would be the Edmond North Lady Huskies. Well, I tell you, that team is the definition of super team. Of course, I might have got a little excited whenever I they won because you guys would see me on Twitter. I'd be tweeting out like Husky Power. No, wait, hashtag Husky Power. I still do. Probably wondering what was the backstory into this. Well, so it is the 2021 season, which was my first year of covering the Mustang Holiday Classic. I had read up a little bit on Edmond North here and there heading into the tournament, as well as the other teams. I remember I actually had seen quite a bit on Edmond North prior to that, even whenever I just watched the live streams from afar. But I remember it was the very first year of the Mustang Holiday Classic, about the time I heard of the team, which I believe that's when Tony Paparonis was a freshman. She was one of the first players I heard of, which, by the way, one of the friendliest you'll ever meet. Throwing that out there. But yeah, it was 2000. Yeah, because 2018-19 season was the first year they did it. And I remember the team overall was pretty young, but they won the tournament that year. And then, well, I kept up with the tournament the next year, but then, like I said, 2020-21 was the first year I actually went to the tournament in person. And by that time, I had seen quite a bit on both the Paparonis sisters, Tony and Elle. And then I had just began to see highlights and whatnot on Lacy Steel. And then Allison Heathcock. But yeah, first year I covered, I remember I had always wanted to meet the Paparonis sisters, and I finally got that wish the night of the championship, because I remember Mustang and Edmond North were playing in the championship, which, if you go back on my channel, I believe you can still find the play-by-play I streamed of that game. But yeah, I remember when the Rollins sisters were still at Mustang, that was actually how I met Tony and Elle, through Jackie and Jordan Rollins, and then their mother. They was the ones that introduced me, and then that same night I met Pete Paparonis, which was the head coach of the Lady Huskies. Which, great coach, great person overall. I never have interviewed him after a game, though. Hopefully I get that opportunity next season. But anyway, yeah, it was the night of the championship, because I remember I was covering a game between Mustang and Southmore boys in the third place boys game when I met them. Okay, yeah, because I remember that day. The two games I had before Mustang and Edmond North girls was Mustang Southmore boys, and then Anadarko and Weatherford girls. But it wasn't until this last season that I met the rest of the team, because, I went up to Bixby this year, and a lot of people didn't expect to see me at that tournament, but I wanted to get the tournament in. And I know some people are asking, but I thought you had the Armstrong Bank Purim Invitational. I did. But the three teams I was covering closely, Purim, Panama, and Porter, were all in the winner's bracket and had moved on to either the third place or the championship game, while the Friday of our tournament here in Purim was for the consolation bracket, meaning since none of the teams I covered closely was playing on Friday, that gave me a chance to go up to Bixby, which I did. Which I went to cover the evening games, which was Edmond North Sapulpa and then Bixby and Broken Arrow. But I picked up the other two games too in the consolation bracket, which was Putnam City Will Rogers and Harding Charter and Edmond Memorial. But good games all around. But yeah, back to what I was saying. It wasn't until then that I would meet Lacy Steel and then Allison Heathcock, Kate Melton, KK Peeler, Ryan Franklin, and so on from there. Oh, yeah. I guess I technically did meet Ataya Casas then, too, which I always tried my best to pronounce her name. Anyone from Edmond that knows me knows I try my best to pronounce her name right. I'm not perfect, but I try. But yeah, I met the rest of the team at that game. And then I pretty much knew everyone by well, actually, take that back. I didn't meet the assistants until the Mustang Holiday Classic. I mean, I seen them at the Bixby tournament, but it wasn't until the Mustang Holiday Classic the second time around I met the assistant coaches. But yeah, great coaching staff all around, great players, super team. But anyway, a kind of a brief recollection on the team. Like, they pretty much proved why they was the number one team in Class 6A this last season. And the starting five, like I said, honestly, if you ask me, Edmond North probably would have won the state championship in all the other classes too. That's how dominant they was. And I'm not the only one that said that either. I know quite a few riders that agreed with me. And coaches and other players, so on from there. But the starting five, for the most part, you had Tony and El Paparonis, Allison Heathcock, Lacy Steel, and then that last spot, it kind of varied. Sometimes it'd be Ataya Casas, sometimes it'd be Ryan Franklin. But nonetheless, still a very talented starting five. But usually in the the backcourt kind of varied a little bit. Most of the time, like if Ataya started, you have Tony and Ataya in the backcourt, and you would likely move. You could put L at either shooting guard, small forward, or power forward. But like I said, it also depended on the lineup, because like if you started Ryan Franklin at the center position, then you would move Allison Heathcock to power forward, Lacy Steel to small forward, and then L would be at shooting guard. But surprisingly, I seen Ataya play small forward a little bit. And she was dang good at it, too. One of the best defenders and passers you would see. And, but yeah, like, Tony was one of those guards that passed it really well and would create open shots. And she was pretty good at creating the contact as well. And then around the wing, you had Elle and Lacy. Folks, let me tell you right now, Lacy is one of those scorers. She will score from any angle. And whenever I break down some game film, which is actually some highlights I did, you guys will see what I'm talking about if you're watching on YouTube. But just so dominant from every angle, like, she could get it going from three. If she had the fast break, she was going, gone. And then She could post up down low, get the mid-range jumper. And then Allison Heathcock, for a post player, she was a post player that had some range too, because I remember a couple games I saw her hit down some deep threes from like way downtown. And then Ryan Franklin was one of those post players you could go to down low a lot. And pretty much you get the contact. She's getting the and one every time. Because I remember there was one game I kind of seen highlights on from afar. I think she got the and one like 4 times in one game. Had to be averaging a triple-double. I mean, or double-double at least. Because, like, one of the best rebounders you'd see in 6A alone. But yeah, as far as the backcourt of Elle and Tony goes, I mean, 2 taller guards that can do a little bit of everything, shoot the 3, post up, defend from every angle. Oh yeah, that was like how I described the two whenever I did my notes on like every team in the Mustang Holiday Classic ahead of the tournament itself. And then, of course, Lacy Steel was like one of those hybrid players that, like I said, it's just a scoring machine from every angle, whether it be down low in the post or shooting the 3. She's one of the top players in the country for a reason. And go watch her highlights if you don't believe me. But like the front court, when you had both Allison and Ryan down low, that was definitely one of the hardest to score on front court duos you would ever see. Because they could draw the contact, play great defense, and then like, for example, like you have like Ryan Franklin down low, she could kick it back out to Allison for 3 or for the mid-range, or maybe the driving layup. Works either way. I've personally seen it a couple times. And then as for off the bench, like Kate Melton, she was one of those shooters that you get her open, or even if she's got a body on her, she will drain the 3 from downtown. Really efficient in the mid-range, too. And then, like, both her and KK Peeler can space the floor and play solid defense. But I've personally seen those two knock down some pretty big shots. And then Atea Casals. Well, like I said, the starting lineup varied. Sometimes you have her in the starting lineup. Other times you have Ryan Franklin. But it just depended on the matchup, I think. But, like, Atea, good passer, good defender, really good mid-range shooter, like, dead-on accurate for sure. So, let's get into our first game film that I was going to be breaking down, which will be the Sapulpa game at Bixby. Hold up, let's see if I can get this pulled up. I was going to say, I just used StreamYard a couple days ago. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I just want to point something out real quick. This matchup, you definitely had a couple of high-profile players to watch. Like, for Sapulpa, you had Staley Hurd, and then Edmond North. Well, you had Lacy Steel, then both the Paparona sisters. And then, well, like I said to my riders before, Allison Heathcock and Kate Melton, those are going to be 2 names you'll probably hear a lot next season. All right, let's continue. Oh, hold up. I'm gonna turn that down a little bit. Sorry, I have the audio going to my headset, so yeah. All right. Okay, but just like watch how they get the play set up here. See, like they pass it really good. Okay, let's go back for a minute. And see, this is another thing Ateo was good at was kicking the ball back out to the perimeter, as you just seen Tony knock down a three. And then, like I said before, Tony was just like really good at creating the shots as well. And then, like I said, rebounding and passing was two things this Edmond North team was really good at. See what I mean when I said they was really good at passing? Like, let's go back for a minute. See, you got Allison. She gets the rebound, then gets it to Tony, who throws it all the way over to Lacy for the basket. That is some great passing for sure. Okay. All right. And then see, like, the bounce pass. Bounce pass works every time. That is some, and that is something you'd see them do a lot, especially if they were getting the ball to Lacy, or maybe if, say, you were getting it to Ryan or Allison down low. The common tactic you see other teams use is the bounce pass. Like, I have seen Edmond North is just one of the many teams I've seen run it really well. And if you think about it, Edmond North, as far as their length goes, they was probably the tallest team in 6A. Okay, let's go back for a minute. So this is what I was talking about right here. So, like, see, you got two defenders right there, and another one right there. Like I say, Lacy will score any way she can. All right. And then see, this was another thing they was good at too, was second chance shot points. Like, say one would miss one shot, you usually have someone down there to get the rebound and then get the putback, or maybe kick it back out and try to get the 30. See, okay, let's go back there for a minute. This is two examples I was talking about before. So, okay, so missed shot, second chance effort there, boom. Again, two really good things they was good at there. All right. See, and then what did I tell you about Kate Melton? She could be, you could even, yeah, she'll drain the three no matter which way she can. Because, like, for example, like I said before, she can space the floor really good. And like I said, there was a couple games I seen where she had a lot of contact and still made the 3-pointer. All right. All right, but that's pretty much what I was getting at there. Let's see, what else? Um, yeah, like right here, you see, this is the other lineup I was talking about where they had Ataya on the floor, but I guess depending which lineup they went, it would go a little different. But like, whenever you would have like both Allison and Ryan on the floor, you would be running like one of those like post-centric offenses, maybe where like get it down low to the post and maybe kick back out to the wing or the mid-range for or back around the perimeter for the three-pointer. That could be one way you could go about it. Let's see. Oh, sorry, I heard my dog bark there for a minute, but okay, moving on. So switching gears to the Mustang Holiday Classic. So this game was their first round game against Strother, I believe. I'm going to move forward because I forgot I got the starting lineup whenever I recorded in the Mustang Holiday Classic. Okay, here we go. Okay, so just to note, this is the other lineup I was talking about. This is the one where they have Ryan Franklin in there. So you probably see a little bit of that like post-centric offense that I was talking about, because when you had both her and Allison on the floor, like I said, that was one of the hardest to score on front courts you would ever see. All right. See, like right there, for example, go back. Okay, so see, you'll get a setup right here, and then this is where the bounce pass comes in handy too. This was especially useful when Ryan was on the floor. As I say, Ryan averaged about 15 a game, maybe 20. Yeah, like, see, that's another example. Like, okay, like, I know Elle is a guard, but with her being a taller guard, you could do a lot of this too. Put the taller guards down low, or like to post up. I've seen it quite a bit, especially with Class 5A and 6A in general. Uh, okay, like inbounding was another thing that was good at. And then, see, like that was something Elle was good at too, was shot creation and getting the ball. Like, basically, Lacy is one of those players, if she's open, you get the ball to her. But with her with her scoring at will, she's another one that she could possibly have three defenders on her and she could get the foul. And that was something I seen a lot where she would drive in, she would get the foul and the basket. Okay, wait. So this was actually something else I kind of like to see as well. When you had both Kate Melton and KK Peeler on the floor at the same time, like, that might be one of the fastest backcourt duos off the bench you would see. Because, like, I think there was a couple times they would get the steal and they would run it across half court and then usually bounce past it. They would either take it all the way or they would like bounce past it to like Ryan or Allison, Tony, whoever's open down by there. Pretty effective. I see like Yeah, I see big school teams do it a lot, but I know I really see, like, okay, I'm going off topic here for a minute, but you know how, like, a lot of smaller schools in, like, class 2A and below, some of them will have, like, a 5 guard lineup, play the small ball rotation. You do see quite a few do that too. But in instances like this, when you got a team that has a lot of size and length, but they've also got the quickness, works both ways. But yeah. Okay. Wait. Okay, I might have went back to I might have went backwards too much there. Okay, no, it's right there. But yeah, like even with KK Peeler being the smallest player on the floor, she was still one of the best defenders I've seen. Because, like, there's been a couple other teams I covered that had a girl about her size that I seen defending a bigger player really well. Like, okay, I'm gonna go off topic here for a minute. Like, when I was in high school, like, our girls team, we had a girl that was about 5 foot even, and she was same grade as me. So senior year, I remember a district game against Clayton. She defended a 6 foot girl pretty good. So that's why I said whenever I seen KK Peeler play, she reminded me of a girl from my alma mater that was about her size that could defend really well. Okay, moving on. See, that's another thing right there. Like I pointed out in the Sapulpa game, they're really good at getting the second chance points. And see another example of it right there. And like I said, that's what a team like Edmond North would do to you on offense. But yeah, it's just like I said, that front court was one of the toughest to defend. Oh, this was something else they would do to you as well. Okay. Like say they missed the second free throw. A lot of the time, they would grab the rebound and get the putback. That is something you would see a lot from this Lady Huskies team. That's what I was talking about right there. Another example of how Allison Heacock is one of those posts that you leave her open from three, and she's going to take that three and usually make it. It's like she's becoming a little bit of what Lacy Steel is, a hybrid scorer that can score at will from every position and every angle. And that was something I noticed going into the Mustang Holiday Classic after I covered them at Bixby the first time. Okay, let's go back a minute. Go back. See, this is another thing I was talking about. Like, well, I said Tony is one of the best passers you'd see. Dead on accurate on that. Like, clear across half court. She sees Kate right there. Kate goes up 2 points plus the foul. Again, this is one of the things I was talking about, how Ryan could have like 3 bodies on her and she's going to find a way to score or even draw the contact. I lost track of how many second chance points they had in this one. It wasn't just this game either. It was the same in the Putnam North and the Mustang game. Indeed. Okay, let's go back for a minute. Like I said, that's something else they do really good too, is space the floor, both on offense, and they do it pretty well on defense too. Indeed. All right, so moving on. And I'm going to tell you, there are some games where they will not miss a shot. And this next game against Putnam North was one of them. Because, and a fun fact about this one, they broke the scoring record for the tournament in general. Because I remember, okay, for just real quickly, going into this game, Ceiling had the record at 76, I think. Wait. Yeah, it was like it was 76. Actually, Ceiling and Mustang both had the record because Ceiling had 76 against Midwest City and Mustang had 78 against Bacola, I want to say. Let's just say Edmond North would shatter that record by about 13 or 14 points. And you'll see in this one, they were firing at will and making everything. That was something. Like I said, they was good at drawing the foul, and that clip showed it right there. Okay, these inbound plays. Okay, that was something you would see them run a lot, is like an inbound play. And usually it'd be L or Tony inbounding it, and if they could, you could get it down low to Ryan or Allison every time. And it was pretty effective too, as you've seen right there. All right. That's something else I was talking about in the last one. Was like they get it. They're not even across half court, and they throw it all the way over and score. But yeah, like I said, I remember covering this game well. Edmond North, they could not miss. Because okay, let's go back for a minute. That's what I was talking about when I said Lacy would score from every angle, and she would get the contact a lot too. Like right here. This was like I said, this was something Lacy was really good at, and she did it pretty often too. That was something else they was really good at, was getting the steal. That's another thing I was talking about, the second chance points and the rebounding and the steal. You seen 3 and 1 on that highlight. Okay, let's go back. This might have been my favorite highlight of this game, where Tony bounced past it all the way over to Kate right there. And she was in a mismatch on a taller player, and she got it. That was my favorite highlight of that game. This was something I did not see a lot, but this was something Edmond North could do to you if they got the timing right, was block the three-pointer. But I'm going to be honest. It takes a lot of timing to do it. That's every team as well. But Edmond North was one of those teams that could block shots very well and very efficiently. Yeah, but how I said Edmond North could not miss in this game, I think the score ended up being like 92-37. That's why I said they broke the scoring record because Sealing and Mustang previously held it at 76 and 78. But yeah, this was. But yeah, I remember I was all like, and I remember telling some people from Mustang this after this specific game. I was all like, you guys are seeing a dynasty right before our eyes in girls basketball. Like, no doubt in my mind. All right, moving on. And now, this next game was probably the one I enjoyed to cover the most, and it was a rematch of last year's championship, obviously between Mustang and Edmond North. Real quickly, you see that's why I called it the greatest game. And I still remember when I interviewed Tony L and Lacy after the game. I kind of got their thoughts about the rematch in general. Fun fact, my very first interview I interviewed those three. I'll admit I was a bit nervous at first because, like I said, it was the very first time I interviewed anybody. Yeah, I remember my first three interviews that day. The first one was Tony L and Lacy, and then the other one was Jacoby Johnson and Ethan Scott for Mustang. I think I interviewed Carly Johnson for Mustang as well. All right. I'm just fast forwarding because I forgot. I kept forgetting I recorded the starting lineups. There we go. And just real quickly, these two would meet up again the next week. Well, it is a conference opponent. They're both in that Central Oklahoma Athletic Conference, I believe. So, and I tell you one thing, Edmond North was one of those teams you could pressure, but you could not turn them over. And I've seen quite a few other teams like this too, like in small school, for example. As far as teams you could not turn over, like you could pressure them and not turn them over. Like Howe was one of them. Hydro Eakley was another. Dale was another team that was like that. But it's like a team you cannot turn over. It's like you can try to pressure them, but if you can't turn them over, then yeah. Let's just say I've seen that scenario play out several times. Not just a state tournament, but, well, okay, I'm going off topic again, but there was a game I covered in regionals last year where one team like they had like the length and the shooting to outscore you like probably 50-0 on a run. But the other team really had no length and they were turnover prone. Just think about the difference there for a minute. You have a team that you can't turn over against a team that's turnover prone. And it was a couple of Class A teams, which I get it. You can't really compare small school to big school, but it's just an analogy I thought I'd throw out there. This was something else. Like I said, inbound plays was Edmond North's specialty. And you would see them do that quite a bit. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Why is Edmond North the visiting wearing the away colors when they're the top seed? Funny story about that. It's like Mustang was always the home team. A lot of people don't understand it, but that's how some tournaments do. Mustang wasn't the only tournament to do that. I know Pond Creek Hunter did their tournament like that as well. And there was another one around my neck of the woods that did that, but I can't remember which one it was. See that right there? Like, that was one of the examples of, like, Lacy Steel, for example. If she like missed her shot, she would usually always grab her own rebound, and 90% of the time, it would be a score. Or she'd draw the contact and get the foul, go to the line for a 3-point play. Real quickly, I'm just going to say it. This was practically the game of the night. Like, actually, both the championship games were pretty much the game of the night because I remember you had two really good matchups. Girls' game was obviously Edmond North and Mustang, and then the boys' game was Mustang and Putnam City North. Good ball all around. Like I said, spacing the floor, that was a specialty this Lady Huskies team could do. Okay, like real quickly, I know Ryan Franklin was more of like a traditional center that was scoring down low, but she was one of those you could put around the perimeter too, like to set up the play. And she's not the only one I've seen like that. I've seen quite a few other post players that did that. Like, I know there's a couple teams around here. They had one girl that was about like her, more of a low post shooter and maybe a little bit of a mid range. But you could put them around the perimeter or the wing to either set up the play or get the rebound from long range. Common tactic and common strategy. Okay, so obviously this was something you've seen before. Edmond North, when it came to buzzer beaters, was one of the best teams to do it. Because I think 95% of the time, they usually got a shot off at the buzzer, and it went in. But yeah, it's like that's essentially pretty much how that matchup went. And I still remember after at half they were trailing, but then went on a run in the third quarter, never looked back. And then like these two teams met again that next week, and it was a little bit more of a wide open league. Like Mustang, actually Edmond North won the first time like 52-45. I think they won like 68-51 the second time. And both teams was missing players. Edmond North did not have Lacy Steel. Mustang did not have Talia Pogai. So both teams was without their best scores, but it was still interesting to see the game unfold. But yeah, it was. Oh, yeah. So then fast forward to state tournament time. Okay, so I'm already in OKC to cover class 2A through 4A. I just got done covering the morning session, which was all games on the girls' side in class 2A. I had just got done covering a game between Howe and Fairland. So I made my way over to Midwest City to Carl Albert High School to go watch Edmond North play against Stillwater in the first round. And I'll tell you, it was something I really debated the whole way through. Like, because Carl Albert was a long ways from where I was at. And, like, okay, I really wanted to go watch Edmond North and Norman play, but the game was at Noble. Noble was, like, really far away, and, well, let's just say it would have cost me, like, $50 to Uber all the way to Noble. It was a drive. It was only like 20-something to get to Midwest City. I'm like, you know what? I'll do it. I really want to see Tony and Elle and all of them play. And I promised them I would come. And I did. I got there late because it was halftime. But nonetheless, I made it. And I'm glad I did because there were two things I got to see unfold. Tony got 1,000 career points, and then head coach Pete Paparonis got his 300th career win. So I got to see two things unfold in that game. And hold up, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. The clip where I interviewed Tony, because I not only asked her about what it felt like to hit 1,000 career points, but I think I also asked her what her reaction was to her dad getting his 300th career win. And I should have already had it saved, but, well, like I said, I've only been home for a couple hours, so here we go. Okay, it's going to take me a minute to get it set up here, but I think I can get it. All right. All right, I got it. I just have to go in. Where's it at? Right here. Okay, so I'm here with Edmond North's Tony Paparonis. So you guys got the win over Stillwater today. What was the momentum going into this game?
Going into this game, we knew we had to do the same thing that we always do: transition, defense, work hard, play hard. You know, my dad was like, you guys need to play defense. That's the only way we're going to win this game. That's what we've been doing all year. And if we all of a sudden stop playing defense, then our dynamic's going to change. So just keep playing defense.
So what will be the preparation going into tomorrow's semifinal game against the winner of Choctaw and Sand Springs?
They're both really good teams, so we're all just going to rest up. I think we're all taking ice baths tonight, and we're going to watch the game on live stream.
Okay, and how did it feel to hit 1K career points?
Awesome. I've been dreaming about this probably since I was in middle school, and I would always see these girls get 1,000, carry that 1,000 ball, and I was like, I want that to be me one day.
Yes, and how does it feel that your dad got his 300th career win and y'all's win over Stillwater today?
I'm so proud of him, and I'm so glad that we both got something to celebrate together. He really deserves it, and, I think about at least 80 of those wins I played under him, so I'm just super proud of him. He's an amazing coach and also an amazing dad.
Awesome. Folks, that was Edmond North's Tony Paparonis. Thank you. Okay, so you pretty much heard that. That was the, like I said, that was when I interviewed Tony after the Stillwater game. See, I had already interviewed Lacy L and Allison before that, since they was the leading scorers. But I really wanted to interview Tony after the game, kind of get her reaction to her hitting 1,000 career points, and then her reaction to her dad getting his 300th career win. Why I didn't interview him, I don't know. It's like I was kind of I don't know. I mean, after I got done doing what I needed to do after that game, I was in a hurry to get back to the big house, because remember, I went back to the big house after that because I had 3 2A boys games after that, because when I got back, I remember I had Morrison, Oklahoma Union, Hooker and Dale, Cashin, and Pecola and Silo. Cashin and Laga I was not there for because, well, like I said, I was at the Class 6A state tournament at Carl Albert High School. Watching Edmond North Stillwater. I don't know why my mind threw a blank there. Whew. That's going to about do it for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. And appreciate all the support I get on the podcast. And I will catch you guys in the next one.